It gives me great pleasure to introduce our fourth speaker of the evening. She has been a member of Toastmasters for 5 years. She has been an officer in our club many times, including Vice President of Education and Treasurer. Her speech title is Viv and the Traveling Teens. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech. Tonight, Juan inspired Vivian to give an impromptu speech about a recent trip she took with her family. Please help me welcome Vivian Yokelson to the lectern because she is bursting with enthusiasm to share details about her trip with you. Competent communicator, competent leader, Vivian Yokelson.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and Juan, for inspiring me and giving me the courage to say, oh, I gotta go up there and tell them about my trip. Okay, because I never do this. Those of you that know me, it took me 5 years to do 10 speeches. So, thank you. But you did inspire me. How many of you here have kids? Oh, right. I used to be like the only one in the room that had kids. I have 3 teenage girls. And my middle daughter just graduated high school. And when we were in the whole college process, she was very anxious about the whole thing and said, you know, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I got accepted into this very expensive 4-year college, and I don't know if I want to go and get you and me into debt. So we looked at overseas programs, study abroad, and she was very anxious about those too, because even though she's a very independent young lady, her name is Samantha, she, I think, is not ready to go overseas at 18. So I said to her, don't get so anxious. What about community college? I gotta get out of LA. I can't have all my friends leave and I'm the only one here. So I said, well, what about community college somewhere else? We always talk about going up north to the Pacific Northwest, and you talk about, you know, we know how progressive it is up there, and so we decided to plan this trip to Seattle and Portland. And we did a little bit of research, and so I went up there with 4 teenagers. That's why I was missing most of July, planning this trip. So it was Viv and the 14s, and I let this trip be theirs. And we went and visited 2 community colleges, Seattle Community College and Portland Community College. And I'll get to the colleges in a minute. But we spent some days in Seattle first, and we managed to bring the weather with us, because it was so hot up there. And then 2 weeks later, it comes up on television that it's like breaking heat up there. So we definitely took the weather up there with us. They're having a dry spell, which you couldn't tell when you went up there because it's so stunning and green. Have many of you been to Seattle or Portland? It's really pretty. So my description of Seattle is San Francisco met Boston and had a baby. Because you have the streets of San Francisco with the hills, and you have the waterfront, you have Pike's Place, and it's a bustling city, and about 500,000 people live there. And it's a great city. It's super expensive to live in because Amazon's there, and Microsoft's there, and all the execs have all their beautiful homes there. So too pricey, rentals too expensive. Community college has a lot to offer. They have a culinary institute. However, you do have to pay out-of-state resident rates, even if you want to go to community college in a different state, at least for 1 year. So 2 quarters would cost me $9 grand, better than 60 grand. So we had fun in Seattle, went to visit Twin Peaks, because my kids also love Netflix, and got into Twin Peaks for all us 90s people out there. Went to visit Twin Peaks, went to Mount Rainier, which is this beautiful volcano. That was my favorite part of the trip. And this is all the things that they wanted to do. We had a steak meal at a steakhouse. We had a lot of fun. We ate a lot. We then headed off to Portland to compare. And in my mind, Portland is like a little town. I've been to Asheville, North Carolina, and I don't know if any of you have been there, but it's a cute little town. So we get to Portland, and we stay on a houseboat through Airbnb, because it was actually kind of nice. 3 days in a hotel room, and then 2 days on a houseboat. You felt like you were at home. There were a lot of spiders, but it was really cool. And when you're up there, you learn about floating communities, something that we don't have here. People have these beautiful gated communities on the water with beautiful homes. Amazing, stunning. So Portland also has a population of about 500,000 people. And just like Seattle, they're very bike friendly. They have bike lanes everywhere and bike traffic signals. And what's really cool is the crosswalks, I think in both, but mainly in Seattle, had with a rainbow painted all over it. So that was awesome. Anyway, so we're in Portland. It's an awesome city. 500,000 people. We biked around the city because that's what Portland is known for, is biking and public transportation. And hence we end up at the community college. Well, Portland loves its neighbors. Portland loves California and Nevada and Idaho and Washington. And the reason I say they love their neighbors, is because they offer Californians resident rates at their community college.
Oh.
So, a quarter is going to cost me $1,200 tuition! So I just signed a lease for a condo for my kids, my daughter, and her sister tagged along, her younger sister, so, and her boyfriend and her friends. So they got to see this wonderful world of the Pacific Northwest. I got to enjoy my kids through what they wanted to do. I hiked, I biked, I'm really out of shape, we need to pick it up a little. We ate a lot, and just to finish off, Portland is such an awesome city. I think for every 5 miles, they have 55 eateries and breweries. Wow. I dropped them off at one point and drove around for an hour. Everywhere you go, there's a place to eat. It's all sustainable. Everywhere, it's just foodie, foodie, foodie. Way more than Seattle. So I was shopping at a vintage store, and I had 3 pubs to choose from, and it was 5 o'clock. So I walked in and I said, I want an apple cider, hard cider. And she said, do you want the bigger one? Because it's happy hour and it's only $4. And I said, you know, no wonder you people are all happy out here. You $4 beer? I'd be happy all day too. They didn't partake in that part. That was my alone time. But I suggest, you know, Juan, you have a long way to go with your kids. You're going to the park and having fun. But when they're teenagers, you can have fun with them too. It was a great trip. We were educated, but we had fun together. And go out, think outside the box. I never thought I'd be paying this little for college. I'm so happy because I have one more to go. And thank you for allowing me to give this impromptu speech. Juan, for inspiring me. Back to you, listener.